Hey there, are y'all ready to get started? I certainly hope so. As a reminder, my name is Miss Guy and I am your ACA 122 OL62 instructor. I am excited to get you started in session 1, and let's go look at what you're going to do for session 1. I'm on the Moodle page, and hopefully you are able to get into Moodle by now. If you are not, please make sure that you send me an email and I will do everything that I can to help you. We are going to look at this coursework schedule one time real quick here, keeping in mind that we do have Monday night deadlines, and so session 1 will be due next Monday, October the 25th. And the deadline is 11:55 p.m. Now that means that everything shuts off at 11:55 p.m. So you have to have things submitted and done prior to the 11:55 p.m. clock strike. I'm going to show you session 1. Now the sessions open and then you can contract them back. So just by clicking on the bar here. So that's what you're seeing. Here we go. So make sure that you are also logged in to your Nash Community College student email account in the same web browser window that you are in Moodle. If you are not going to be able to access the documents, and then that is going to prevent you from getting the work done. So I've already told you in the welcome email that each week we have 2 assignments that you are going to complete. Now it's going to look a little bit different for you guys because this week session 1 is the only time throughout the rest of the course where you have 1 session. Because this is a half of a semester course, you're going to do 2 sessions a week so we can get through the whole course. So you guys will have 2 assignments for each session, and other than this week you will have 2 sessions due each deadline. I hope that that makes a little bit of sense to you. So for starters, the activity number 1 that you will see on your screen is the language of responsibility. So you're going to click on this link and I'm going to walk you through how to do this. So here are the directions right here. We're going to make sure that every time we access an assignment in ACA that we're very careful to read the directions. ACA is not a course that is hard to pass or hard to get an A in, but we have made sure that the directions are very clear and in the place where it's going to help you the most. So here you go, you've clicked on the assignment, here are the directions. So it says to review the responsibility model, and this is actually a link. So we're going to click on this. This is going to open up, and this is a responsibility model. Now, essentially what this is kind of teaching you how to retrain your thinking. And college students have to do a lot of that. So an event occurs or a problem happens or something crazy is going on in your life, and then you react to that. So in the college world, it might be, you get a terrible grade on an exam, or you've got 3 classes with major assignments due this week. And how you react to that stressor or that event determines what kind of responsible person you are. So if you get into that realm of, I'm going to blame other people for what's going on around me, or I'm going to complain, or I'm going to make an excuse, and that is more of what we see when people just don't take responsibility for themselves, or they don't understand how they created or how they added to the situation. We call those people victims. We call that being in the victim mindset or carrying out victim language. And so I think everybody knows what happens when people like that are attempting to succeed at a goal. That doesn't happen very often. However, if you look in the column on the right, if you are the type of person that just accepts responsibility for what's going on. So, okay, there's a lot going on and it stinks, but I'm going to be responsible and I'm going to figure out how to fix this. Okay. those kinds of people take control of their life, take control of their situation. They make the best of the issue. They have a positive attitude. They look to solve the problem. We call those people creators, and those kinds of people often reach the goal that they're working towards. So that is kind of the review of the responsibility model, and I'm going to need for you to review that as well. Now, after you review the responsibility model, you're going to complete an activity called the language of responsibility. So this is where you're going to need to make sure that you're logged into your Nash Community College email account. So I'm going to click on this link, and I'm going to get to this screen. You're going to see this screen a ton in ACA. You have to make a copy here. When you click this button that says make a copy, it's going to automatically create for you sort of like your own worksheet inside of your Google Drive. And your Google Drive is linked to your Nash Community College student email account. If you need help with how to do this Google Drive thing, just shoot me an email and I will be happy to set up a meeting time with you and we will go over this. Some people come to us already knowing how to use Google Drive because you have used it in another type of school setting in the past. But if you need help with it, just let me know and I'll be happy to help you. So here, you're going to see victim statements on the left-hand side, and you are going to see a few examples of creator statements as well as add your own creator statements on the right-hand side. Excuse me, I'm about to sneeze and I'm trying not to do that to you on video. All right, so here's an example number 2. The instructor is so boring that he puts me to sleep, okay? All right, that is a victim statement. I'm complaining about my situation. I'm complaining about somebody else. So in order to create a better outlook, we're gonna use our creator language, and maybe we're just gonna say, you know what, I'm having difficulty staying awake. So I'm gonna ask my instructor, can I record him? And then I'm going to make sure I re-listen to those lectures at a later date, okay? That is finding a solution, taking responsibility and finding a solution. So there are 3 examples here. 1, 2, and 3 are examples of victim language and the better term, the creator language statement on the right-hand side. Now, you are going to create a creator statement for 4 through 13. I apologize. 4 through 13, that is 10 statements that you are going to create. They have to be solutions to the issue, not just restating the problem. Once you're done with that, you are going to submit it into Moodle. Now, your Moodle screen's gonna look different from mine because mine is the instructor format. But here on your Moodle screen, you're gonna have a section to submit. Now, those of you that have done Moodle courses in the past, you will already know how to submit things. There will be a box there and you're going to access your Google Drive on the left-hand side of that box. And then you're going to be able to select from your Google Drive your assignment that you completed, okay? Again, if you need help walking through this for the first few times, please send me an email. Y'all, I am so happy to meet with you and help you figure this out. But because I cannot make my screen look like a student, I cannot show you how to do that exactly unless you and I are on a video chat. All right, so once we're finished with the language of responsibility activity, we're going to go back to our Moodle course and we're going to look at activity number 2. Keep in mind, sometimes students get in this click right mentality in Moodle where they just click next. I can't recreate that on my screen either, but I have seen some students do that. Please make sure that you are always going back to our actual course and that you are using this course from top to bottom. So you're scrolling like I am. Do not click right. However, that pops up on the student side. So the second activity is going to be a journal. And I am going to show you the most important things about journals here. So inside the journal, you're going to have a link to an article. This is something that I'm going to ask you to read. Now, if you don't want to read it, or if you have trouble seeing it, because sometimes on certain screens it's difficult for people to see because it's a PDF, I have actually recorded myself reading you the article. So if you can get through this country accent and allow me to read it to you, I promise you will, you'll be fine. But some people don't want to hear my voice anymore, so they can read it for themselves. All right. Once you have read that article, there are 4 questions on this screen that this is going to ask you to reflect on. I want you to think about those 4 questions, okay? And then you are going to create your journal entry. So here's the directions at the bottom. It says copy and paste the following format and questions into your journal entry. So here's what I'm actually going to do. I am actually going to copy what is on the screen right here. Right click, copy. Then I'm going to select this button, start or edit my journal entry. When I do that, I'm going to see an entry box. It looks like this. I'm going to click in this box, right click, and paste. Okay, so there are my formatted questions. So I'm going to see this first question. What did you gain from the Theory of Halves article? I am going to type my response here in full sentences, and I am going to make sure that I have proofread what I have typed. When I'm done with my response, I am going to change the color of what I typed. And I'm going to do that by highlighting what I typed, clicking on this paintbrush, and changing the color. Okay? Now, I'm going to repeat that step for all of the 4 questions. And I'm just showing you here how I'm changing the color. You are actually going to type in a response. Just to review, you need to make sure that you answer these questions in enough content and enough reflection that there is effort shown. So you need to do more than a sentence or 2, okay? You need to proofread. You need to make sure that you're using correct grammar. We are going to make sure that we do not use the lowercase I when we're using the word I, or we don't use texting language. So the word you is spelled Y-O-U instead of just the letter U. So just as a reminder, this is a college level course, and so you have to write like a college student. If you will follow this format and this philosophy of doing journals, you will earn your full credit. Just make sure that your 4 answers here, your 4 reflection questions, are done in a thorough way that shows that you have put forth effort. When you are done with this, you're going to hit Save Changes. Now, I'm not going to hit Save Changes as I'm displaying for you because I can't do that as an instructor. Those are the only 2 assignments for session 1, and they are due no later than 11:55 p.m. on Monday, October the 25th. Please let me know if you have any questions or concerns when you get started. I certainly would suggest that you get started now. Go ahead and get session 1 knocked out of the way. Session 2 and 3 will open for you on Thursday, and I will send out another email, and more videos will be embedded in session 2 and 3 that will give you directions on how to complete those assignments. I wish you guys the best in getting started, and I cannot say this enough. If you have a question or if you are confused, please, please, please shoot me an email. I'm here to help you. That is my job, and I want to make sure that I'm here for you when you need me. I hope y'all have a fantastic first day of ACA.